Hey everybody, welcome back to PMS, the Perpetual Motion Squad, a Big Bang Theory fan podcast. And we are your hosts, Big Bang Theory super fans, married couple Kat.
And Paul, who's been playing with Barney, who keeps running past my camera. Yep. I'm sure there are people that sit there and watch it. We've actually got 14 followers now on the YouTube channel.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, so everyone who's watching through YouTube, yes, I'm wearing another Kiss t-shirt. This is my End of the Road World Tour t-shirt. Before I actually went to the concert, and this has got all the American places that they went on
Yeah,
the back. So my wife got it for me at Christmas time last year. So
aren't I
yes,
awesome?
he is awesome, which actually leads me into a bit of a public announcement. And I
Uh,
didn't tell Kat that I was going to do this.
no,
So
you
first
didn't.
of all, today is, well, we're recording this on the 7th. It drops on the 8th,
Of December
8th of
2025.
December. So we've still got 20, is it till the 20th of December
So that's
to,
13 days.
yep, to get your interest in to be part of the Christmas
And
draw.
that's the 20th our time, not necessarily America,
No, so okay, so it is the 20th in Australia.
which is
And
the
it,
19th in America.
However, 20th of us, so anybody in Australia, the cutoff date is the 20th of December. In America and all over the other parts of the world, it's the 20th on their day. So when it turns to the 20th, yeah, I know what I
You're
already know what
really
I'm doing.
overcomplicating this.
No, I'm not. All you got to remember is the 20th of December, wherever you are in the world, that is the cutoff day to be involved in the Christmas giveaway. So when it hits the 20th, wherever you are in the world, that's cutoff day. Now, right now, we have got one, two, three, four, five. We've got six people wanting to be part of the Christmas draw. So if you're interested to be
You got a pretty
one,
good chance.
you got a good chance that there is six. Oh, there you go. Some animations. But yeah, we've got six people wanting to be part of the Christmas draw, and we have got the Christmas present already organized. You're gonna
Yes, we
love
do.
it. You are gonna love it. Um, but yes, this brings me to a bit of a different point. Now, I know we all know that Christmas time is a time of celebration and joy and happiness and family and all that. But there are people out there that don't have that ability, that they may be an only child and their mum and dad have passed away. They may not have a huge amount of friends. They might not have any friends at all. They may be going through quite a lot in their life and they are in deep depression. First of all, it was really interesting, and not in a good way, but this week just gone, um, a work person, I don't know them, I didn't know them, but we got an email through, they were in their early 20s, they took their own life.
Oh, geez, I didn't realize she was so young.
Yeah. Um, when people get to the absolutely depths of despair, and the one that really affects me to this day, and I'll always remember her, is my work friend Lily, that I met. I knew her. I was friends with her, and I was, I mean, I saw her on the Saturday, so it was either the Saturday night or the Sunday night that she took her own life.
Are we
And
sure that this person took their own life and it wasn't like a mechanical failure?
what in what?
The one this week that took her own life by running her car
No,
into a tree.
no, she didn't do it in the car, sweetie. That was a completely different person.
Oh,
No, this is a person that took their own life. It was we nobody knows how they did it, but all we know is that they
that
did it.
she did it. Yeah.
She did it.
Mm.
Um, so what I'm trying to get at with the opening of this podcast is that the world is an absolutely wonderful, amazing, and incredible place, and it is way better with you in it.
It can be an incredible and wonderful place.
Yeah, but it is so much better with you in it. Now,
Yeah,
please,
agreed.
if you get to the point where you are really, really getting to absolute zero, there are places that you can go to and talk to. Now, in
And there's
Australia,
no shame in reaching out for help.
no. In Australia, we've got this thing called Lifeline, where you can ring up people 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, 365 days a year, and talk to counselors on the telephone. they can help you get through this. There's also men's health lines called Beyond Blue, which is
That's not
a
just men's health, I don't think.
no, well, Beyond Blue is, well, yeah, no, Beyond Blue is a suicide hotline as well that
Yeah,
you can
mental
go,
health support.
mental health support. So there is a number, and I'm sure your local authorities in any part of the world has got something set up that you can go
Hmm.
and speak to them about,
Yeah.
how you're feeling. Um, so number one is the world is a way better place with you being in it. It really is. And if you do have that issue that you're feeling like that, please go and reach out to somebody um, and talk to them because we want you here in the world. Now, in saying that, on Christmas Day, obviously, Kat and I are doing our Christmas giveaway. Um, but Kat and I are sitting at home on Christmas Day with the dog, watching Christmas movies, eating and doing nothing overly spectacular.
Yep.
So if you are alone in the world, whether it's Christmas, your Christmas Day, which would be our Boxing Day, or Christmas Day for us, whatever, if you are lonely, if you are depressed, if you've got nowhere to be, and you want to speak to somebody, we are not celebrities. I want to
No.
get that very, very clear. We are not celebrities. We are not people of influence. We are two people that love the Big Bang Theory and decided, you know what? There are so many podcasts out there. Let's talk about an awesome show that we love, The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
So we decided to do this podcast. We are not untouchable. You can ask anybody that emails us, religiously and talks to us, that they will say we are not unapproachable. So
No.
what I'm saying
I might
is,
forget to check the email for a couple of days, but other than
but well, I'm
that,
actually pretty good on it. I do get on it pretty quickly. Um, But what I'm saying is that we are home Christmas Day all through New Year. So if you are feeling a little bit that way, reach out to
yeah.
us. Now, we can talk about Big Bang Theory. Absolutely, we would love it. We could even upload, I could even put it on the computer. We could upload an episode and watch it together on a watch party. Very
Yep.
simple. We would just share the screen and we could all sit there and watch it and then talk about it afterwards. That would be fine.
Hmm.
No problems. But for me, if you love, obviously, you can see I've got a Kiss t-shirt on. If you are a closet Kiss fan and have got nobody in the world to talk to about Kiss and would love to talk to a Kiss fanatic like anybody, reach out to me. If you
Yeah.
love horror and you got nobody to talk to about horror, but you want to talk about horror, reach out to me. If you love the 80s and you're a closet 80s nerd and you love everything 80s, movies, you know, culture, pop culture, music, whatever, and you got nobody to talk to, reach out to me. I am here for the people. So what I'm saying is that because Kat and I are sitting at home doing nothing on Christmas, from Christmas all the way through to New Year's, if you want to reach out and say, hey, is there any chance Christmas Day,
That we can hang out for
that
a
we can
bit.
hang out for an hour or so and just talk and we can talk? Yes, let us know. Email us.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit there and go, oh my goodness, you are going to interrupt us eating. No, that's not it at all. We will sit here and we will talk.
Well, I you might have something to say if they want to do it during the annual Die Hard viewing.
I'm sure we can even push that back a little bit further. That's fine. We can do that. But the fact is that
Because
we
we all
are
know that it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off
falls off the
Nakatomi
Nakatomi
Tower.
Tower, yeah. But
Yeah,
look,
but that's the thing too, is we can set up like a Zoom or a um Facebook chat where, we can live stream some stuff together.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already got one person that reached out to us and said in the new year they want to be part of an episode.
Yep.
So that's, and look, I know we've got other people. I know we've got, I think Rachel said she wanted to be part of
Yeah,
an
we've been trying
episode.
to do that for a
Yeah.
while. Schedules
Jessica
are hard
Jessica did
sometimes.
say at one stage she wanted to be part of it. I know Craig wants to come back and be in an episode. We are going to get to you guys. We promise.
Yep.
Next year, in the new year, we are going to organize you guys to be on an episode with us. So we've got
Yep.
a new person that she actually said, "Can I be part of an episode?" So we're going to get that all
Yeah.
organized in the new year because we're so close to the end of the year now. Um, but yeah, so we just wanted just to put it out to everybody. We are not untouchable. We are not celebrities.
Yeah.
We are not people that you can't communicate with. There are some, podcasters out there that sit there and they'll say, email us, and then whether they
And
email
then
you
ignore
back
you.
or not, they ignore you, whatever. Um, we just want to make sure that everybody is aware We are not unapproachable. We're not celebrities. We want to be involved with everybody.
Yeah.
So if you are alone at Christmas time, feeling a
And
little
don't
bit
want to
down
be.
and don't want to be, and want to just have someone to talk to,
We're here
we're here. We
because
would
we
love.
love our fam.
Yeah, so yeah, we love our family. So we really want to be involved. So if you guys want to do that, just reach out to us on an email, perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com, and say, hey, is there any chance Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, one other day during the holiday season, could we have a chat on Zoom?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I know for a lot of people, family is the other F word this time of year.
Yeah.
So if you want to deal with family that you actually like,
Yeah.
come hang out with us.
But yeah, and it won't be a situation where we're not gonna use it as a podcast. We're not gonna put it up on YouTube.
No,
It's
it's not a
just
promotional
no, it's
opportunity. It's
not.
just sharing time with some friends.
Yeah, and if we get on here and we're talking and we're like, you know what, Bang, yeah, okay, we'll put an
Okay.
episode of Big Bang in and we can just sit here and talk about it and just have a chat and just have fun. So
Yeah.
that's all we're gonna do. So yeah, reach out to us, please,
Yes.
please
Okay.
reach out to
Now
us.
we're 20 minutes into the
All
episode.
right,
I think we
okay.
should get on to the episode.
Let's get into the episode. We are doing season 2,
To
episode number 13, I believe it
the
is. The
friendship
friendship
algorithm.
algorithm. What did we think about this episode?
It's okay. Kripke is a tool.
Well, this is the first time we really get to
This
see
is how we
Kripke.
really start getting okay,
Yeah,
we met him in the last episode, the killer robot instability.
yeah.
And this is where we start to actually get to know him as a person and realize he's a complete tool.
Yeah, he is. I mean, there's a lot of miscommunication in this episode. I don't know where they got the idea of him only doing things with his friends. So I think there was miscommunication there
Oh yeah.
somehow,
But that establishes the premise of the entire thing.
It does, which is really quite funny because we open up in this episode where we're sitting in the cafeteria and the boys well actually it starts off with Raj and Raj is having some pudding and he
Raj
says
says that tapioca is the
is the
best
best pudding.
pudding.
And this is where Sheldon decides to pipe in with the fact that no, it's not the best pudding. And he goes to say which best pudding there is, and this is where Howard comes
No,
up.
that's not what happens.
Okay.
He says that it is axiomatically incorrect
Oh,
because the best pudding is chocolate pudding.
the best.
However,
Yeah.
and then he goes on to talk about why tapioca pudding is jiggling death in a bowl.
Yes.
And that's where they cut him off and they won't let him finish the explanation.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out it would not be axiomatic since it is a conclusion based on the argument, with the premise being that chocolate is the best pudding.
Right, because there are a lot of people that would actually argue chocolate
Well,
is not
there
the
are a
best
lot
pudding.
of people that would say, well, banana's the best pudding.
Yeah, or strawberry or
Well,
vanilla or
they
whatever.
don't really make strawberry pudding. Vanilla, yes.
They do in Australia. We used to have these things in little containers. Oh my God, I can't remember what it is, but you used to be able to like pull the lid off of it, right?
Mhm.
And they would have strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla.
Okay.
And I loved the chocolate, but strawberry was death in a can. It was so good. I
Okay.
really wish I remember that one. It was back in the 80s that yeah, would get it. Mum would it would be in a can that you just like the pull top. And then for some reason they decided that maybe the pull top was not a good idea because maybe kids were cutting themselves
Yep.
and turned it into just like the little plastic uh yeah, pull sling.
Okay. Let me.
But I can't remember which one it was, but I know it was
Oh,
awesome.
okay. Let me share my screen. Sorry, audio listeners.
And hey, YouTube listeners, you're gonna get
Um,
YouTube watchers, I should say, you're gonna get to see what we're looking at. So,
okay.
all right,
So
okay.
are any of these what you're looking for?
Well, I don't know. You got to double click on your screen. Okay, you gotta you're gonna have to zoom in a bit.
Okay, I'll make that a little bigger for you.
Zoom in again. Oh, there it is. Yes, snack pack.
The snack pack.
Yeah, but it was yeah that one, but it was actually in I like Generation X if you can remember. Yeah, the snack pack that was actually had a pool lid, but
Yeah.
they actually had it in strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla.
And
They didn't.
apparently
They never had
butterscotch.
butterscotch. No, they never had butterscotch. They must have just used
Okay.
that. That must have been
Yeah,
available somewhere
I can
else.
see the chocolate and vanilla and yeah, butterscotch is probably America.
Yeah, but the strawberry one,
Yeah.
it was just oh. My God, it was amazing, the snack pack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that one as a kid growing up in the 80s.
Aren't you
So
glad I know how to Google?
I'm very glad you know how to Google because I've got no idea. Not, I mean, when we come up to do our, holiday spin, I will be sharing my screen, which would be amazing to see me being
Hmm.
able to do that. But as Sheldon is going to say that chocolate is the best pudding, and the reason so, and also for the fact that if you don't prepare tapioca correctly, it's poisonous. This is where Howard cuts him off and says, "I'm thinking of growing a mustache." Now you can see that Leonard looks over at Sheldon, knowing that Sheldon
Well,
wants to continue on with what he's
and
talking
as
about.
Sheldon starts to continue, Leonard responds,
Yeah, cuts in and says, "Oh, well, Fu
and then Sheldon
Manchu."
tries again, and
Yeah,
Howard interrupts again, and Sheldon starts doing that thing with his
the
face.
facial contortions. Yeah.
And that's when Leonard looks over and he's like, "Okay, you better let him finish before his head explodes." And Sheldon looks at so he's Sheldon races through it so you can't understand a word he says,
Yeah.
and looks at Leonard and says, "You promised you would stop doing that."
But we do see that, because Howard does say, because Leonard comes back with, "Oh, what sort of mustache? Handlebar, Fu Manchu, and
Pencil.
pencil." And then,
And then
as you
he's like,
said,
"Well, I was thinking of doing a Clooney."
because George
And
Clooney's got one now.
Raj pipes up with, "Oh, I saw him at this store the other day. He was buying vodka
Yeah, and
and
it's like, oh, well, I thought he would have had like a vodka
booze
assistant, a
lackey."
booze lucky. Thank you. Yeah, have a booze lucky that would be able to go and get him his alcohol. So
Yeah.
yeah, oh, one. So then we find out we see Kripke walk through, and Kripke goes to Leonard and says, "Oh, I see you did a 200.
200,000 runs of this experiment with no
No,
tangible,
no, it was 20,000.
or 20,000 with no
Yeah.
tangible results.
Yeah, and he goes, "Way to go, Hofstadter!" And he walks off, and he's basically throwing a little thing at Leonard, as if to say, "Ha, you didn't get any results." And this is where Raj says, "Yeah, it's okay. 20,000,
Negative results are
are
still
still
results.
results." And Howard goes, "Yeah, even 20,000 of them." And we find out that Kripke actually has access to this thing called an open science grid computer. And this is where that Sheldon needs it because he needs to run a diffractual something.
And it
There's an
basically he's saying
He needs
that,
access to it.
yeah, he needs access to it because he refers to inverse tangent function
That's
approaching
right.
asymptote as stuck,
Yeah.
but in reality, a function approaching asymptote does not get stuck even metaphorically.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
And this is where Leonard comes back and says, "Well, good luck, because I hear the only way that you can actually
You
get on
get
the computer
access to it
is if
is,
you're a friend, and he
yeah.
only lets his friends use the computer." So this is where Sheldon goes, "Well, that works. That's okay. I will just become his friend." So as Barry
And they're all
Kripke,
like, good luck with that.
yeah, so Barry's walking through again, and Sheldon gets up, "Kripke," and he goes, "What would you say about us becoming friends?" And he goes, "I have no
No
interest in
desire of
becoming a
being
friend."
friends.
Be friends. And he goes, "Well, that's rather strange considering the fact that, you're look to be, generally unlikable. Maybe."
Maybe
It's
you
like,
should take some time and think about it.
and he's like, "Yeah, I'll think about that," and walks off, and he goes, "Well, I think we're off to a a good start." Um, and this is the whole premise of the show, of this episode, is the fact that we're going to try and get Barry to be friends with Sheldon.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out
And
that well.
as they walk off, Leonard's like, "Yeah, good luck with that."
Yeah.
And Raj is like, "Yeah, he's a ginormous knob."
Yes,
Now, and he is,
he is definitely.
but what I find kind of hilarious is knob is basically another word for penis,
Yes, it is.
and it's a Britishism. It's a Britishism.
Is it a Britishism?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. So it's basically
Wow.
like in America or Australia, you'd say he's a giant dick.
A tool. Well, a tool is
Yeah.
America.
Well, no, no. If you called him a giant dick,
Yeah,
in England, you would call him a ginormous knob.
I did not know that.
Yep. And so that line in the pre-credit sequence is cut when broadcast in the UK.
They cut that line out.
That line. Yep. They edit that line out.
Wow.
Yep.
Just because you use the word
Uh-huh.
knob.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
basically the same as using penis.
okay. Well, that's okay. Well, each is to their own when it comes to broadcasting in different countries.
Yep.
I'm sure there's certain things all
Well,
over
it's
the
like how
world.
Kiss has to change their logo when they go to Germany,
Yeah.
which
Although
I completely support, to be honest with you.
Although, as Paul did say in this logo,
Hmm.
one is a slightly smaller than the other. Even Paul's father, when he showed him the logo, went, "No, you can't use that. That's the SS." And he's like, "No, Dad, one of them is smaller
Um,
than the other."
okay, that may very well technically be the case, but it doesn't look it.
Yeah, I
It's
know
not
I
obvious.
know it looks like the SS.
It's not
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kiss have always had to change it to the regular just
Yep.
S, because they're not allowed to use the swastika
And with
logo.
Jean's mother being a concentration camp survivor, I'm surprised they used it at all.
Yeah, but as I said again, the Kiss logo, if you look at it, one is slightly smaller than
Okay,
the other.
irrelevant.
No, I
And
know.
I'm surprised they use it all considering his family history
Yeah,
and the way he respects his mother and what she went through. I'm surprised he allowed that to be used at all.
yeah. Wow.
That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Um, so we find out in the next scene is the fact that obviously Kripke's got no interest in becoming Sheldon's friend. And so Sheldon decides he's gonna go and make a questionnaire. 200 no, actually no. Sorry, before that. The next scene we see is that Sheldon is in his kitchen, and Penny is sitting on the sofa with Leonard, and Leonard says, "There you go. Now any email that comes to for you from Wallowitz will go straight into your spam folder." And she goes, "Well, it's not so much the email that it worries me, is the fact that I get these pictures,
Of him
like
on vacation in a
in a
bathing
bathing
suit.
suit." And he goes, "Yes, well, that's okay."
I got
And
that one too, and it wasn't a bathing suit. And
it was
Penny's like,
tan
it
lines.
was a tan line, and Penny's like,
Yeah,
ew.
you see, like, oh, but the hands go into her face, like, oh
Yeah.
my God, you're kidding me. Um, and we're also seeing that Sheldon has rung Barry, and obviously he's gone through an answering service, and he's saying the fact that it was pleasant seeing you this today in the cafeteria. I noticed you ordered the chef salad. If you just want to know, the chef salad is basically the offcuts of anything that was left in the
Of
kitchen,
leftover meat, and it's
leftover
just a
meat
way
and
to get
stuff.
rid of it.
Yeah. And as per the fact that, I'm just following up on our friendship, possibility, and, you know, see you later. And this is where we're seeing that Penny actually says, "What's up with Ichabod?" And he goes, "Well, he's trying to make a new friend, whatever." And he says, "Well, how did you become friends?" He said, "Well," he said, "there was a sign-up sheet on the bulletin board, roommate wanted, whistlers need not apply." And she said, "Well, how did
And
Raj
you
and
did
Howard?"
it no,
And you
and she
did it
says, and you
anyway?
did it anyway. And he's like, well, I thought he was joking. You'd be surprised how many physicists have a whimsical side.
And she goes, "Well, how did Howard and Raj?" And he goes, "Well, and he goes into there was a formula that he
Yeah.
says.
Well, what makes these things attract to these things on, like a
Yeah.
subatomic level kind of thing? And she's like, oh, well, when you put it that way,
Yeah, and then she goes, "Well, it all worked out for the best." And he goes, "Yeah, but I do miss whistling." And she
whistling,
goes, "You're kidding me, right?" And he whistles, and you see Sheldon go, "First warning."
warning.
So you can see that, yes, it is. You're not allowed to whistle around Sheldon. So the next scene we see is Sheldon knocking on Penny's front door, and we find out that Sheldon has come up with this questionnaire, 211 questions to be, to be
Exact.
exact.
And it should only take you about 3 hours
Three
to complete.
hours, including including an
Essay.
essay that you got to do. Um, but the reason that he's given this questionnaire to all his friends is because he wants to know why his current friends like him so much, and to try and gauge how he can approach Kripke. And I just think it's amazing. Take you no longer than 3 hours and an essay. It's like, oh my God. And he basically, as I said, he wants to just figure out why he doesn't have more friends, you know, um, you know. So, and the thing is that we find out eventually that when it does become the point where you can see that Sheldon and Kripke are sort of becoming friends, that Sheldon decides, well, no, having this many friends is too much, so I've got to drop
Drop one
somebody.
of you.
So it's like, so are you wanting to have Kripke as a forever friend or just a for now friend? It's sort of like you've left it in sort of an ambiguous situation. Which one or ambiguous situation? What are we going to do? You know, are we going to have Barry as a forever person in the group?
Yeah.
So, um, so we see obviously that when Sheldon walks out, the next scene we see is he's sitting on the sofa, and all the responses have come back to him, and he's shaking his head, and he's going, and of course Leonard is on his computer, and he goes, I must say I am very disappointed at your test results, and he says, what? I answered every question correctly, and he goes,
He's like, yeah, but you did it in a pattern.
yeah,
A, B, B,
B.
C. A, B, B, C.
And he's like, "Oh, you caught onto that one, didn't you?" And he goes, "Yes, I did." But and he goes, "Well," and the fact is, he says, "Well, look," and this is Leonard's idea, which I think is a great idea. He says, "Listen, why don't you just go to a coffee shop, go out and meet
Meet
people?"
people.
He said, "Do you remember it was like the time that you decided to try and learn swimming on the internet?" And he goes, "Yeah, but the skills are
He's
trans."
like, but you never got in the water, and you still can't swim. He's like, no, I can swim. I just
He
never
goes,
got in the water. I just don't like getting
"Yeah."
in the water. He's
He
like, then
said,
why did you do it? Because the ice caps are freezing,
"I'm
and
melting."
eventually it will be non-negotiable.
Yeah. And he did say that, but you learnt it and you were doing it on the floor.
Floor.
And he goes, well, the skill is transferable into the
Yeah.
water. So,
Okay. Now, before we go on,
yeah.
this is likely a reference to the physicist Theodore Kaluza, who did reportedly learn how to swim by reading about it in a book. Unlike
Okay.
Sheldon, however, he supposedly actually went in the water and succeeded in swimming immediately.
Really?
Yep.
So he goes and learns it,
Reads about it in a
reads about
book
it in the book, and then goes and
and then
transfers it
puts it
into the
into
water.
practice. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah. It is.
That I would have
And I
loved to have
love,
seen.
and then Sheldon's like, okay, come on, let's go. And Leonard's like, where are we going? He says, to the bookstore so I can get a book on making friends. And he's like, why don't you just swim there on the floor? I love that line.
So the next scene we see is Sheldon and Leonard at a bookstore, and there's this lady in front of him. And Sheldon glances over his shoulder and it says the book is How to Cope with the Loss of
A loved one.
a loved one. And he says, my condolences, and
And
she
it
says thank
starts
you.
out really
It
beautifully.
does, it really does.
Yeah,
And he says, friend or family, and she says family. And he goes, "Oh,
that's too bad.
that's too bad because it was a friend, I'm available." And you
And
just
she just
see
kind of looks at him and
and just
walks
walks
away.
away. And he goes, and he says to Leonard, "Oh, it doesn't really matter. She smelled like mothballs." And he goes, "Well, if you're going to start smelling people, I'm going to go and get a hot pretzel," and
And Leonard
walks away.
leaves.
Sheldon goes to the counter and says to the guy behind the counter, "Do you have a book about making friends?" And he goes, "Yes, I do. We do, but it's their kids' books." And he goes, "Why? I assume that it would be,
That
you
you
know,
can extrapolate the
yeah."
principles and yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, it's over near the train set." And he goes, "Oh, I love trains," and
You
goes to
guys
walk
like,
away.
I bet you do.
Now, I find this part of this very interesting.
Hmm.
Pardon me. Sheldon picks up the train and
And
goes,
it's all
"Oh,
sticky.
that's rather sticky. Where's this hand sanitizer?"
Yeah, I know. I thought that too.
I mean, at that moment, wouldn't you think that he'd break out the sanitizer that he may have in
Well,
his bag?
he may not be, did he have his bag with him? Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah, he had his
Yeah,
bag with
it's
him.
okay. Sheldon honestly should be like me and have one that clips onto the outside of the bag so it's always available.
Yeah, yeah, she does actually,
I
everybody.
do. I
Yeah.
do.
We went to a movie last night.
Hmm.
We actually was a documentary about this.
I used my hand sanitizer multiple times and I also carry sanitation wipes so I could wipe down the chair,
Yes, she
which
does.
annoys Paul immensely when I do that.
It's like that. It's like if anyone's seen Frasier and Niles continuously wipes down the chairs before he
In the
sits.
very when you first meet
In the
Niles, yeah.
Yeah, when you first meet Niles and he goes to sit down and he'll clean the chair. That's Cat. That
Yeah, it is.
that's all good if she feels okay. I commandoed it. I sat in without washing
He
the
gets
chair.
annoyed and tells me to quit and stop, and I tell him to mind his own business.
You can see where the relationship is.
Mm. But so
No, not
Sheldon
really.
starts thumbing through the books and at one point refers to this would be more for little hominid children, as though that would not include modern human children. Hominids, however, do include modern humans.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
And we find that Sheldon lands upon a book called Stu
Stu the
the Cockatoo
cockatoo is
is New
new
at
at
the
the
Zoo.
zoo.
And so he goes to sit down, and there's this girl, Rebecca, and she's sitting reading about monkeys. But
She's reading
as
Curious George.
Curious George, now he sits down and he says about Stu the Cockatoo, and she says, I don't like birds, they scare me. And he goes, Me too.
Most people don't understand that.
Yeah. And then he goes, What are you reading? And she says, Curious George. And he goes,
I
Monkeys. And
like
he and
monkeys.
she goes, he goes, I do like monkeys. And she goes, Me too. And he goes,
And
Well,
and she says Curious George is
George
a
is a
monkey.
monkey,
And he's like, well, rather
anthropomorphal.
anthropomorphized, but
Yeah.
yes, he is a monkey.
Yeah. Now you see Leonard standing off to the side. And Sheldon says, maybe we could go just to a zoo and
Go
see
and see
monkeys
monkeys
together.
sometime.
Would you like that? And she goes, okay. And Leonard goes, Sheldon, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm having a meeting a new
I'm
friend.
making a new
New friend.
friend.
This is Rebecca. And he goes, no, you're not. Come with us. Come with
Don't,
me.
don't look at
Yeah.
those cameras.
And he goes, but we were really hitting it off. And he goes, and he says, don't look at the camera. And you see him walk away around the corner.
And you'll notice that he never actually paid for the book.
Now, the only thing that I can think of,
Hmm.
all right, in this regard, is that there is a counter where the books were in there, but when you walk around the corner, there might be a counter
Yeah, there might be another one there.
closer to the
Now,
entrance.
more importantly,
Mm,
this scene where Sheldon tries to make friends with the little girl in the bookshop
yeah.
is used in a training film by London's Metropolitan Police.
Oh, okay.
It is designed to show how people with social disabilities can sometimes be unintentionally inappropriate. Because he was not intentionally, he's not a pedophile.
No, he was genuinely
Yeah, he was
being
genuinely
interested
thinking
in,
he was making a friend,
yeah,
not realizing that making friends with a 7-year-old is not a good idea.
yeah.
I'd like to know where her mother was.
Well, she could have
She
been,
was off looking at a book.
yeah. So now, from that, do we conclusively say that Sheldon is on the spectrum?
Oh, we've known that from the beginning.
But he genuinely is just trying to make a friend.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't.
It's not uncommon
Mm,
for people who are autistic and on the spectrum to be absolute geniuses but have zero clue about social interaction.
yeah, Rain
And
Man, for
that,
instance.
yeah. And but especially, I mean, because Sheldon is exceptionally high functioning, but he has always had difficulty in human relationship.
Yeah, because he does even say that human interaction
Baffles him.
baffles him.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um. So the next scene we see is that actually no, it was yeah, well, that's what it was. The boys came home. They're coming up the stairs, and Raj says to the guys, for the question, what is Sheldon's favorite acid? What did you put?
And they're both lysine.
Lysine. He goes, damn it, I had lysine and changed it.
Yeah.
They come into the apartment, and this is where Sheldon has decided to make an algorithm flowchart. And he got the idea from the book Stu the
Stu the
Cockatoo
cockatoo is
is
new at
New
the
at the
zoo.
Zoo. So he decides to, and he's mapped it all out. So he's going to ring Barry and ask him about, he starts by proposing dinner. And so he will say, he rings him
Yeah,
up and
so
he
he
goes,
starts with
Barry,
that. He says no, it goes
no,
to a
he
hot
goes to,
beverage,
yeah.
and
And
here are
then
the
he's,
options.
yeah.
No. Then what about an activity that you enjoy? Please tell me an activity.
And
No,
he goes,
that's not acceptable.
and he
Tell
goes
me
back
another
up.
one. No,
Yeah.
that's not acceptable. And he gets stuck in this infinite loop
Yeah.
where Howard jumps up and says, I can fix this.
Yes.
And he takes the eraser, draws in some stuff, and Sheldon's like, "What are you doing?" And then he's like, "Oh, the least objectionable activity. Okay, well, this one sounded good. Let's make a time, and yes, I will pay, and I'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow."
But I find it interesting where when Sheldon actually sees that Howard has made this.
I'm
You know,
surprised you saw that.
yeah, and of course this is where Howard goes, "Wow, why doesn't Sheldon have friends?" Because
Yeah,
you've just insulted him. But I
exactly.
like the fact that he did get him out of this infinite loop because he could see it, and the first person that noticed it was Leonard. He's like, "Oh, he's stuck in an infinite loop. We got to get him out of it." So yeah, I like
Yeah,
that part of it.
yeah.
Now, at one stage, Kripke actually says about horse riding,
Hmm.
and obviously
And
Sheldon
Sheldon's
says,
like on actual horses.
"Yeah, no, I don't want to do that."
Oh, I would
Um,
love to go horseback riding.
I know you
I
would.
wish we had a place where we could do that.
Yeah, I know. Um, but the next scene we see is it's paid off because Sheldon is going out with Barry Kripke, and obviously Sheldon's paying. But we find out that instead of going horseback riding, Sheldon has been taken to rock climbing. Now, indoor rock climbing, everybody, not outdoor in the fresh air and
No,
big rocks and stuff like that.
no.
This is a rock
A
wall.
rock wall.
I've
And
done
it
it.
and
It
it
is awesome.
honestly, looking at it, it's not one that's ridiculously advanced.
No. Now, what you got to understand is that, okay, the one that I did, for instance, is I was with an ex-friend of mine, and what we would do is I would be the one that would belay him,
Yeah.
right? So you've got to understand that where I've gone and the rock climbing areas that you can go to here in Adelaide in rock gyms or whatever, that you've got to be the person holding the person going up. So you've got to understand
Well,
that,
a lot of places have staff that does that because they
yeah,
actually know what they're doing.
yeah, but in a lot of places, the one that I did, there was no staff to do it. They would advise you how to do it, but you would literally watch them go up. So you've got to remember that as you're going up, and if you slip, whatever, you're the person that's got to hold them and then bring them safely back down.
Yeah,
So,
I remember one time I did actually I was going rappelling
hmm,
and I was about 50, 60 feet up
yep,
and the person on the belay line got talking to somebody and wasn't paying attention and I ended up upside down.
okay, yep,
That was fun.
that's not good.
Yeah, that was not fun.
But no, if you and I were ever going to go rock climbing in a rock climbing gym or wall, whatever, I would be the person that would belay you up and I'd monitor you and bring you down safely. So.
Or staff would, and we'd do it together.
Or staff would, but if they did not have staff on site, yeah. But so this is where when they, Kripke says, as you know, Sheldon says, well, I because Barry had said that he can also do ventriloquism.
Yeah.
And so when Sheldon is there watching this whole thing about he's going to be rock climbing, he goes, I do like ventriloquism.
Ventriloquism. We could go for a hot beverage, and you could talk while and
You
the
could drink
dummy
it
and I
while
could
he's
talk
talking.
while you dry
And he
drink.
goes, nope, I want to climb some wax. And so this is where, Sheldon is rather, worried about climbing. And now the first thing that you don't do to a person that's going to be belaying you up is insult them.
Yeah.
And Sheldon says to the guy who's going to be holding him, oh, because he's
Is
attaching
this your
him,
whole job? Your parents must be
must be
so
so
proud.
proud. It's like, really? I'd probably drop you on your head. But so and Barry's like, come on, let's get going. And he's like, now Sheldon has actually looked at this on his laptop. So you can see that was actually a lot taller. And Kripke does say, come on, they have birthday parties here.
Yeah.
So they start climbing up the wall. And Sheldon is making some really great headway until Barry says, wow, Cooper, you're doing really well. You're halfway to the top. And this is where Sheldon then looks down and slams himself against the wall and says, okay, basically he's stuck.
Yeah.
And Kripke's like, come on, keep going. And he looks up and he goes, not likely. And he goes, okay, well then go back down. And he looks down and he goes, nope, that's not an option either. And he goes, okay, Cooper, then what are you gonna do? And he goes, well, it's not really what I'm gonna do, or what choice I've got, but I'm basically gonna pass out. And he does pass out, and he's laying, basically
He's just laying
starfish
starfished in the middle
in
of this
yeah,
air.
in the air, and it's like okay. So the next scene we see is that the boys are in the apartment now. It is Howard, Raj, and Leonard, and Penny. They've
Yeah.
all got Chinese food. And this is where you see Leonard go, can we do it one more
More
time?
time.
And Howard's like, okay, one, two, three. And they start whistling. And they are having a great time whistling. And at the end of it, he goes, it's really, you do really miss it when you can't whistle. And this is where Sheldon has brought Barry home for dinner. And it's like, uh, Sheldon comes in and he goes, "Oh, I brought my new friend, Kripke for dinner." And they all go, "Ah." And he goes, "Well, hello to you too." And he says that he goes to, he actually sits in Sheldon's spot. And Sheldon says, "Oh, sorry, Barry, that's my spot." And he goes, "Rule, you have your own spot. What kind of wacko are you?"
And Howard's
Howard
like, how much
goes,
time do you have?
And so we see that Barry is going to be joining them for dinner, and he says to Howard, or it says to Leonard, "Do you have some floss?" And he goes, "Yeah, in the
Bathroom.
bathroom." And he goes, "Oh, because I need to floss out the
I need to get
Indian
the
food."
Indian food out of my teeth
Yeah,
before I have Chinese.
yeah. So he walks off, and this is where we're seeing that as far as it goes, Sheldon is thinking that it's going along quite well, except for the fact that he feels that managing five friends at a time is going to be a very basically a Herculean task. And so he says, "So I need to let one of you go." And I love it how Howard's sitting there going, "Me, please be me." And looks over it, and Sheldon looks over at Howard and goes, "Howard, you, your cologne is an assault to
No,
the
well, no.
senses."
First he says to Leonard,
Oh, that's right, Leonard,
"You're my
you're my
roommate,
roommate,
my
and
transportation, this and that. You're
you're
safe."
safe. And he goes, "Howard, you don't have a PhD. Your cologne is an assault to the senses, and you're not available for computer games during the Jewish high holiday." And he goes,
And he's like, "I
"Yeah,
get it.
okay, I
I'm
get it."
gone.
And he goes, "No, you
You're
are safe."
safe."
And he's like, "Oh, what do I have to do?" And of course you see Penny go, "Okay, I know where
I
this is
know
going."
it's me. I'm not smart. I'm not a scientist. I'm not like you guys.
He goes, "Yes, Penny, I understand that, but please let me finish." Now Raj is sitting on the sofa
No, he's
chair,
sitting on the arm
the
of
arm
the
of the
of
sofa.
Leonard's chair.
Yeah. And he says to Raj, "Raj,
You're out.
you're out." And he's like, and he goes, and he says, basically he's got the why, and he goes, "Well,
Yeah, and he's
yes,
like, "Well, good question. Anyone
your
who doesn't know my favorite amino
amino
acid
acid
is
is
lysine."
lysine,"
And
and,
he
and
and
he
he
whispers
whispers,
into Leonard's ear,
and
and he goes,
Sheldon's like, and Leonard says to him, "Well, he had lysine, but he changed it." And he's like, "Coulda, shoulda, woulda."
"Yeah." This is where Barry walks into the living room flossing, and he says, "I like to floss anything out so my gum pockets are open to new food." And I love it how
That's
Penny,
disgusting.
I know, and Penny goes, "Ooh,"
Especially the
and
fact that he's still
he's
flossing as he
doing it.
comes out. It's like, ew.
And he sees Penny, and he's like, "How, whoa."
And
And
he
he
didn't even
over
take the
so
floss off of the roll. He
he
had the
throws
roll
it.
and he throws it over. It's like, how disgusting are you?
And he says to her, "How did I miss you? I'm Bowie." And she goes, "Penny." And he goes, "Not a very hot name. I'm going to call you Waxan."
And Howard gets up and walks past Penny and leans over and says, "I'm looking pretty good now, aren't I?"
So Barry says, "Oh, pot stickers," and sits down. And this is where Sheldon decides to lower the boom and says, "Okay, so I just want to know, because we are now friends,
When can I get some
when
time
can
on
I get
this
some?"
thing?
He said, "So can I use the computer?" And he goes, "No." And he goes, "But I thought we were friends." He goes,
Yeah.
"Okay, no, my
No, my
friend."
friend.
And he goes, "But I was led to believe that your friends were the only ones that were able to use the computer." And he goes, "No, that's absolutely not true. It's an official sign up. I've got no control over the computer." And Sheldon's like, "Oh, so this whole thing has been a waste of time." And he grabs Barry's food and gives it over to Raj and says, "Raj, you're back in." And you've got Barry sitting there going, like, "What? How did it?" And he looks at him and he goes, "Oh, because he likes monkeys." The episode goes black, and that is the end of this episode. As I
Yep.
said, I like this episode. It does bring a new character in, Barry.
Yep.
We understand that Barry is not a likable person really at all. Although I must admit, he does become a little bit more endearing as the time goes on.
He does.
Well, at somebody's wedding, he's singing.
Well,
He
that and
becomes a little bit more likable.
okay, the only reason he sings at the wedding is because he had the room reserved and that was his price for getting him to move his event.
Yeah, but he does become a little bit more. Okay, not likable, tolerable. We can tolerate
All
him.
right, tolerable, I'll go
Yeah,
with.
maybe not
Yeah.
likable, but tolerable. We can tolerate
Yeah.
Barry. But it does bring the a new character in. It's moving the characters along just a little bit, but
Yeah,
we do see that Sheldon will stop at nothing to get to try
wants.
and get what he wants. But a lot of the time, it just backfires on
Yeah.
him. But
Yeah.
I do like this episode. It's probably in my top 50.
Mm.
No, it is my top 50. I think because of
No,
the
it's
fact.
in, that's fine for you. I don't think it's in mine.
Yeah, but I think it's in my top 50, so I did enjoy that this episode. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. So do we have any how's our food counter going on this week?
It was actually a pretty food heavy episode. We had
Mm,
Caltech lunch
yep.
once, snacks at home once, a mystery takeaway, and a Chinese takeaway.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and it actually, our conversation is leading into this week's question very well. If making friends were as simple as pressing a button, what would your button say?
Okay.
What would your button say? Yeah. Love, yeah, your button would say love kiss.
I'm sorry. Look, I mean, this is why I put it out to everybody. If you're a diehard Kiss fan or if you're a closet Kiss fan and you want somebody to talk to, doesn't understand.
You froze for a second there, honey, so say that
Oh, did
again.
I?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say
If you
is,
love Kiss and you don't have anybody to share that with, talk to Paul.
yeah, because I don't have a great deal of people to talk to about Kiss. I can talk to Kat about it, but it's like,
I just kind of zone out, to be honest
yeah,
with you, and put together
yeah.
my grocery list.
But if you came into my room right now, if you came into the
Hmm.
Kiss cave right now and saw what I've got, it's like, yeah, it's pretty obvious that I am a diehard Kiss fan. So if you are a closet Kiss fan and would really love to talk to someone about it, but you've got nobody to talk to, yeah, talk to me. So my button would be Kiss fan,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. What would
Yep.
yours be?
Uh,
I got an idea what it would be.
what's that?
Yours would be book lover.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that. But it could also apply to Outlander fan, Call the Midwife fan.
Gilmore Girls,
Yeah.
what Law and Order fan,
Oh, SVU. Yeah,
SVU.
totally.
There'd be a lot of stuff that Kat would actually have a lot of buttons.
Yeah, I could.
If they said to her, you can only make one button. Okay, for me, it would be Kiss fan, right? Press that, you're in. You're a friend of mine. But for Kat, it would take her a good maybe week and a half, 2 weeks to actually narrow it down
Are
to
you saying I can't? You're trying to push my buttons?
maybe. But what I'm saying is that if someone gave you the option to press your button to have a button,
To
but
press my
someone
button.
yeah, but if someone actually said to you, okay, you need to narrow it down to what does your button say? Because you can only have one topic, what would your button be? It would take you a good couple of
Hmm.
weeks to really narrow it down as to um what your button would be.
Because I can talk till the cows come home about Call the Midwife, Law and Order SVU, Gilmore Girls, um,
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Yeah, there's a lot of things
There's
I
a
could
lot of
say.
them.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it would be Kiss fan. Cats would be, well, we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's still a work in progress. But
We
yes,
want to know what yours would be.
but that is the question of this week. Now, if anyone's sitting there going, for God's sakes, when are they going to be doing the mailbag? We looked, and technically we should be doing it on the 10th of December, but we're not going to do it on the 10th of December. We're going to do it at the end of every month.
Yeah.
So this mailbag is going to be on New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and subsequently after that, it's going to be the end of every month.
So the
That makes
last day of the month
the
or the
last
last
day.
Monday of the month?
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Uh, Actually make it a lot easier,
I'm
I guess.
fine with doing it the last day of the month so that we still have the episode that week too.
Yeah, because the last day of the month is Wednesday. Well, the 31st is a Wednesday,
Yeah,
right?
that it changes every month,
It
honey.
changes every month.
Yeah.
So let's make it at the end of every month. So January the 31st, it falls on a Saturday. February 28th falls on a Saturday. So we're going to do it at the very last day of every month, and that's going to be
Yep.
like a bonus episode. So you're going to get your normal episode on the Monday, and then a bonus episode at the end of the month. So this month,
Yeah.
instead of us doing it on the 10th, because last time was November the 10th, we should be doing it on the 10th
Yeah.
of December, but we're going to do it on the 31st as to make it the end of every month. So, yep, that's what we're going to be doing from now on. So, sending us emails, and there was a question last week about the fact that, well, we got an email through, and I think we'll actually just save it till, yeah, about someone actually believes 1,000% that Kat was right. So, we're going to
Yeah.
just we'll tell you at the end of the month. I'm not even going to go there. I don't believe it, but we're going to go there. But
Okay.
yeah, so anybody that's sending us emails or answering all the questions, the mailbag's the end of the month. So
Yep. Oh, and we wanted to ask them to leave a like and a review on Apple Podcasts this week as well.
yes, we looked on Apple Podcasts. We've had no reviews whatsoever, and I mean reviews
So if you
really do help us.
listen on Apple Podcasts, it really would help us out if you could leave us a like and a review.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, anywhere you listen to podcasts, it helps, but we'd really like to up our Apple Podcast positioning.
yeah, absolutely. And as I said, remember the 20th of December anywhere in the world, the 20th of December is the cutoff time to get your interest in to be part of the Christmas giveaway.
And
And
trust me, if you don't do this, you're going to regret it because it's cool.
it is an awesome, awesome thing.
Yep.
So we're going to do it on Christmas Day. Now it'll be Christmas Eve, other places in the world. That's completely fine. You'll get it on Christmas Eve. We'll actually have it on Christmas Day. But whatever happens, you'll see who wins the Christmas giveaway.
Yeah.
And yeah, we believe it is an awesome giveaway. We're going to be doing this every year.
Yep.
Um, and so this is the very first one we're going to give away.
Yep.
And yeah, if you don't get in it, you're going to miss it, and you'll really want to get it. So we've got 6 people. So if you want to be part of it, just
Yep.
email us perpetualmotionsquad00@gmail.com and just say I want to be part of the Christmas giveaway, and your name will be entered in there.
Yep. And if you want to say thank you and Merry Christmas, we would love it if you shout us a coffee.
Yes, we're taking coffee donations.
Yes, we are. This podcast will always remain free. We will never make you listen to ads or
No,
sponsors or anything like that.
never.
So if you do enjoy the podcast and you appreciate the effort that we put into it and want to show a little bit of love, as little as $1
Yep.
and as much as you want, we will always be thankful for anything that you choose to share with us. And there's the PayPal me link everywhere.
Yeah.
Or you can email us and we'll send it to you.
Yeah, the PayPal link is also in YouTube, so I've always put it in there. Um, but just actually before we get into the Chuck
But
Lorre
it's
production,
on the Facebook page, it's on the Facebook group, it's in the
yeah,
show notes, it's
yeah.
everywhere.
Now before we get to the Chuck Lorre production
Hmm.
notes, oh man, I was going to say something and now it's completely gone.
Goldfish.
Yep, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what my phrase this week is that I have the memory of a goldfish.
Yep, we got no idea. Even
Well,
even
it'll
Barney's
well
left.
let me do the Chuck Lorre Productions and it'll come back to you. Just don't
Mhm.
think too hard about it. Okay, Chuck Lorre Productions number 237. There's a funny moment in tonight's episode where Sheldon gets stuck on a rock climbing wall and remarks, "What part of an inverse tangent function approaching an oh, that's where it was. An
Mm.
asymptote don't you understand?" And I thought it would be helpful to take a moment and examine that joke. A
Okay.
linear asymptote is essentially a straight line to which a graphed curve moves closer and closer but does not reach. In other words, given a function y equals fn open paren x closed paren with asymptote a represents a number that no matter how big or given the function small you make x, y will never make it to a. The particular example Sheldon quotes is the inverse tangent function or arctangent, which has 2 asymptotes. If you graph it, it sort of looks like a horizontal S, shows a graph of an atan x. No matter how big you make that x, that is, how far you move it to the right, the function is never going to hit that top line, pi divided by 2. And no matter how small x gets, moving it to the left, y is never going to be smaller than minus pi divided by 2. The more you know, the funnier it gets.
You got that, everybody? I hope you did because at the end there's going to be a quiz.
Well, for me, that's too much like math, so no.
That's
Yeah.
fine. But I remembered what I was going to say. Those of
Decode.
us, yep, those of us who are watching through YouTube, you might have known so might have seen some new graphics that start and graphics that end. You can thank Madam for that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
because I use a program.
Okay,
You
so
you might think that I'm actually really clever. I'm not. Kat just showed me how to do it.
years ago, I bought a lifetime license for Wondershare Filmora. This is back when it was like Filmora 9. They're now up to about Filmora 15.
Hmm.
And you can still get it. It's just a monthly or annual subscription now. They don't do the lifetime pricing anymore.
Mm.
And Paul and occasionally when you open and I've given Paul access to it so he can do these videos. And um occasionally when you open the program, it'll do a, hey, we have this new thing that you can, get a free trial of, try it out. And it had this thing called assets, which include like opening and closing graphics that you can play with and create and do fun things with. And Paul was looking at it and he's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And I'm like, they were having a Black Friday sale and it was like 30% off. So it was like $75 American, which was like 110 Australian. So I'm like, okay, fine. Because at some point I'm going to want to use something like that for my business anyway.
Yeah.
So now Paul has a new toy.
Yeah, so those of you that are watching through YouTube and see all these different graphics starting, that's because yeah, Kat has got me
Um,
this
yeah,
with
we
different
we bought
templates.
it this one night, and for the next 2 days, that's all Paul did was play with it.
Yeah, yeah. So now I found new templates and Christmas templates, and so yeah, so you're going to get different templates when you see the opening and closing of these episodes. So
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
sorry. It's what happens when you actually get to start playing with these things.
Okay,
So
so we need to wrap up
yep.
and thank everybody for joining us today for
Hmm.
season 2, episode 13, the friendship algorithm. We hope you had as much fun with it as we did.
Yes, we did.
Get into the contest for the drawing on the 25th
Yep.
and send us a coffee if you're loving the podcast.
Yep.
And next time we will see you for season 2, episode 14, the financial permeability, which is where we learned that Aquaman always has a 50 stuck in his butt.
That's right. Yes, we do.
Yep.
Now, also remember when we do go to the Cheesecake Factory, we've got to go and see Sarah.
Yes,
She's waiting.
absolutely.
Yes.
So anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you next time. And in the meantime, we'll catch up with you at the Cheesecake Factory.
See you soon, Sarah. Bye.